What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today is Vlogmas day 14. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a K-5 STEM teacher and ed tech coach in Los Angeles. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and during this period called Vlogmas, I'm posting a new video every single day in December up until Christmas. So right now I'm doing a mini series on morning meeting. Like I said in my video yesterday, morning meeting is my jam. I absolutely love it. And so today's video is really gonna focus on the first stage of morning meeting, which is the morning greeting. So the first thing I wanna share about the morning greeting is that I think it's just a really great way to make every single student in your class feel heard at the very start of the day. So like I said in yesterday's video, morning meeting is really known for, and the best benefit really, in my opinion, is that it sets the tone for the rest of the day. And the morning greeting is really the first interaction that students have with you and with the rest of their class every single morning. Again, with this element of routine and predictability and making them feel heard and seen in your classroom. So I'm going to structure this video with two different parts. So first, we're gonna look at some in-person teaching morning greeting ideas, and then next we'll look at virtual morning greeting ideas. So my very first in-person morning greeting idea is to pass a greeting around a circle. Now this might be pretty obvious, right? Where basically students are all sitting in a circle and they say a greeting to the person sitting next to them, and it passes all the way around the circle. So for example, I might turn to the person on my right and say, "Good morning, Kylie." And then Kylie might say, "Good morning, Maddie," and then go back to the next person and say, "Good morning, Jesse." And then Jesse might say to Kylie, "Good morning, Kylie," and it'll keep going around the circle like I said. So that's one really simple example of an in-person morning greeting that you could do with this idea of passing a greeting around the circle. Now I also like being a little bit more creative with some of these greeting ideas too. So I've come up with this little chant. I think it's really fun. I think it's great for student engagement. Basically, the way it works is you hit your thighs twice and then you clap. So. And then there's a little rhythm to it. So what students will say is they will say, "Hello, Jordan. Today's a great day. Hello, Jordan is what I'd like to say." And so basically, you do that one by one around the circle where students give that little chant to the person sitting next to them. Now, morning greetings here, what's really important about them is that students are addressing each other by name. So you'll notice with this activity, students are actually saying their classmates' names. I think that's really important. There's so many studies about how students need to hear their names every day, and morning greeting is just the perfect way to start the day with making direct eye contact and having students say each other's names. Now, another greeting that you might pass around the circle is something like a fist bump. So in a non-socially distanced classroom, something that you might do is have students, again, sit in a circle and actually give a little fist bump to the person sitting next to them. So for example, I might say, "Fist bump, hello, Charlie," and then Charlie might go, "Hello, Maddie," and then go around to the circle one by one by one. Now, my second in-person greeting idea is to set a timer. I think timers can be really fun for student engagement. It gives things sort of like a game-like environment and can be really fun for students. So what I recommend doing is actually setting a timer. You can project this on your board, and basically what you can do is, let's say you set a timer for 2 minutes. Students are then tasked with greeting as many people in the class as possible without running during that 2-minute time. So for example, you might say, okay, you're going to give a handshake to as many students as possible during 2 minutes. Ready, go. Students can then walk around the classroom, give each other a handshake, actually address each other by name again, and this can just be a really fun activity for students to be able to see how many people in their class they can actually greet during 2 minutes. Now, my third and final idea for in-person morning meeting greetings is to actually do a dice roll activity. Dice are great for student engagement. I really love to do this activity throughout the day. It doesn't just have to be during morning meeting. So what I like to do is I recommend that teachers on the board write down the numbers 1 through 6 and write a greeting associated with each number. So for example, number 1, say hello in another language. Number 2, say hello in a silly voice. Number 3, say hello with a dance. Number 4, say hello with a wave. Number 5, say hello with a high five. And lastly, number 6, say hello in a robot voice. What's really great about these 6 different activities is that basically students can go around the circle and actually roll a dice. I don't have a dice on me right now, but hopefully you can sort of imagine, let's say students are again sitting in a circle and each student rolls a dice, and whatever number they land on is actually the greeting that they're going to give to the class. So for example, if I roll a number 3, I would say hello to the class and do a little silly dance. I think this is just sort of a fun little mystery game. Students are really excited to figure out what they're gonna roll, and it can be a really great strategy for morning greetings in person. Now, next I'm going to give my 3 virtual teaching morning greeting ideas. So first we have giving a virtual high five or a virtual fist bump. So basically the way this works is it's pretty similar to in-person teaching, but what students do instead, give a little wave, a high five, a fist bump, whatever they'd like to the camera. So for example, as the teacher, you could call on students one by one in the order that they appear on your Zoom screen. So it's really easy. All you have to do is just call on each student, and they will then give a little wave, a fist bump, a little dance, whatever you'd like as their greeting to the entire class. Now you can do this exact same activity, but also sort of mixing it up with the dice activity that I presented for the in-person teaching. So for example, you could roll a digital dice and students then have to either, say hello in a silly voice, say hello in a different language, different things like that, and it can just be a fun way for students to get to greet each other to start off their virtual morning meeting. And then lastly, you can pass on a dance. So you'll notice that there's a trend here. I think with virtual teaching, the best way to do virtual morning meeting greetings is just to have the teacher actually call on each student. I think it just makes things easier from a classroom management perspective. So for example, you could have students actually pass on a little dance to each other. If you have older students, it can also be really fun to actually build onto this. So for example, if the first student says hello and does a little disco, then the next one might do the little disco and then do a little dance like this, and on and on. And of course, it might get difficult to remember if you have a gigantic class, for example, but I do think that can be a really fun activity to try out with your students virtually. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed these 6 different morning meeting activity ideas, morning meeting greetings specifically. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and again, during Vlogmas, I'm posting a new video every single day in December up until Christmas. Tomorrow's video is specifically going to focus on morning shares, so if you liked this video, be sure to watch that video next so you can get some ideas for a morning meeting share that you can do with your students. Thanks again. Bye, friends.